Hello guys, I'm back. We're talking about the love of God. If I get rid of that fly, that would be nice. We're talking about the wonder of the love of God, how unconditional it is. God doesn't judge us by our darkest hour, but He loves us unconditionally. Now, we've been talking about this kind of love in a sort of a academic kind of a way, saying love. It just seems like such a mystical term, love like God loves. But in the book of Hosea, not only do we see God's love being unconditional and not judging at our lowest hour, but He's very specific in chapter 11. Go and read this and read it again. It's a great thing. It's a beautiful picture of God's love for us. This is what it says. When Israel was a child, I loved him, and out of Egypt I called my son. I remember they had gone wild and they'd ended up being in Egypt in captivity because they had abandoned God, and yet God continued to love them. But the more I called Israel, the further they went from me. They sacrificed to the Baals and they burned incense to images. That's a tough picture of the people that God loved, bringing them out of Egypt and wanting to be to them God, and yet they're running off after sacrificing after Baals, burning incense to images. That must have been really hard for God. But then it goes on, it says, it was I who taught Ephraim to walk, taking them by the arms, but they did not realize it. I was the one who healed them. With cords of human kindness, with ties of love. I lifted the yoke from their neck and I bent down to feed them. Now get a picture of this, people. This is important. You don't want to know what God's love is. There's a great picture here. There's 5 different categories of God's love. First of all, when Israel was a child, I loved him like a father. He didn't just love him at a distance. He loved him. He was proud of him. Like a father standing and watching his kids play sport, and a father who just loves his kids for what they and who they are. That's a true father. He says, I was a father. And then he says in verse 3, he says, it was I who taught Ephraim to walk, taking them by the arms. That's what a mom does. So God doesn't just love like a proud father, but He loves like a loving mother as well. And then it says, it was I who healed them. That this God who picks us up when we fall is the same like the father who picks up a child when he's fallen off his bicycle, and he dusts him off, and the mom who embraces the child when the child has failed and fallen. And that's what God is saying. I'm just like that dad, and I'm just like that mom, and I'm just like that physician who heals you. I'm like the doctor who's able to put that loving embrace around you, and with ties of human love. It's like a husband. It's like a husband, the ties of human love for his wife. I lifted the yoke from their neck and I bent down and fed them. It's a picture of a farmer who feeds his flock, a farmer who won't go to bed at night until the flock has been fed and everybody is happy and tied up and safe. Get a beautiful picture here of the wonder of God's practical love for you. It's an enormous picture. I hope you get it. And when we begin to love people like a father, a mother, a doctor, a husband, a farmer, and a shepherd, I'm going to tell you, people, that's what real love is. It's not some cushy, sentimental feeling. It's not just that. There is that to it, but it's not just that. There's a practical aspect of loving, being proud of, being there to nurture, being there to lift up when you hurt and you need healing, to love with intensity like a husband loves his wife, and to love like a farmer who just provides for his flock. You want to know how to love people? There's the picture. That's how God loves us. Now here's the big injunction. God says, go and love people that way. And when you love people that way, I've got to tell you, people, you will find forgiveness incredibly easy. It will just be a natural outworking out of a love that is pictured here and is intense, personal, and motherly. Isn't that a wonderful picture of God's love for you? If you need to come to terms with God's love today, have a look at these different aspects and understand that's how God feels about you. And now you go love others like that, forgiveness will come naturally. Have a great day. Bye.